Today I went to go play Pokemon and I was absolutely terrible at it. Like, let me tell you, the luck was not good. I played absolutely horrible, but I played this really cool, funny deck. Today's video, I'm going to talk about kind of the deck, why I chose to play something like this at my League Cup today, and where I kind of went wrong, what went bad today, and why I dropped pretty early and came home. So today's video, the big takeaway is going to be this cool deck and just how to reflect on your losses as a player and improve for the future. So, kicking this off, I mean, you guys did hear me say it. I did drop from the tournament. I had a pretty terrible run, 1-3, you know, the usual. Just not a good time for me. First cup drop of the season, actually, so, you know, overdue. But I played this Roaring Moon deck. My buddy Nico and I were talking about decks, and I was like, give me something funny. I want to play something funny for my cup. I've been playing, like, kind of serious, like, try-hardy decks, and I have, like, I guess 4 finishes to technically replace, but I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of fun. I wanted to play something that's a little bit out of the box, kind of surprise some people maybe, and go a little bit crazy. So I decided to build this Roaring Moon Iron Hands deck. So the idea is, rather than playing into the Greninja that a lot of the builds that are doing very well are, you kind of play into this Thornton Iron Hands build. So you have Sealstone, you have Fish to kind of get there. You can go through your deck pretty aggressively with Pokestops, as well as Battle VIP Pass, Ultra Ball, Dark Patch, Earthen Vessel, Shoes. Like, you just get to go dig, pretty much see, like, almost your whole deck by the end of turn 2. Squawk and Seize, like, all these cards are really, really good for doing exactly that. So that was the idea of the deck, and I end up heading to the League Cup to end up playing this. Bad matchups for Moon are, I think, Gardevoir is not pretty good. I think Lost Box is a little bit sketchy as well, but the hands should fix, in theory, both of those matchups. But in practice, you're about to find out what happened. So the first round, I end up going into Guardy. My good buddy Gwen, she was playing Gardevoir. She won the flip, kind of sets up normally, 2 Ralts, gets a Manaphy down. I guess they don't like really expect, like, they don't know what to expect, so they just put the Manaphy down just in case I also play Waters, which I could. And theoretically, I could play Waters, and like I could play like 2 Waters, 1 Lightning, I guess, and kind of be cheeky with it, because I don't really need this many Darks. Like, I think 6 Darks, like 6 or 7 Darks is probably fine in a list like this. And then I end up having a pretty weak turn 1, and I miss the attack. Just drawing cards in the wrong order, wrong sequencing. And then Gwen goes ahead and Mirage Steps. I end up getting the Thornton into Iron Hands KO. They respond with a Gardevoir into my active. I'm able to Roaring Moon that one. They're able to Scream Tail my Squawk this turn. So they're at 2, and I'm able to go Iono, and I Morpeko the active and move the damage, or the energy, and then they end up finding Boss Vacuum to get rid of the Ancient Booster Capsule to win the game. But I did have Boss the following turn, so if I did get to survive that one turn, I'm sure I would have been Iono'd, or like probably there, but my deck was like 8 cards total with like Luminia and Ultra Ball, Boss like left, or like with 1 Boss, or I might have Palpated it back. So I actually had a win con at the very end of the game. End up losing the first round. Round 2, I go up against Lost Box, Sablezard with Roaring Moon, and I make a bunch of weird plays, fully well knowing that their win con is like using Radzard multiple times. I see like 2 Darks being put into Lost Zone, a bunch of other stuff, and then I end up prizing the hands, and like for like 3 turns, like my initial start's really good. For like 3 turns, I'm like, man, I can get the hands. I have the Thornton. I have access to everything, but no hands. No hands in deck, no hands in deck. So I end up going to the 3 prizes, and on my that turn, I end up finding the hands. And my opponent rock sands me and kills me with Radzard to take their first 2, which then I have to respond to with Frenzied Gouging because I actually miss a Stadium, which then in turn gives them like a free knockout into my active with Cram. And then I miss a Stadium once again. I have like 3 Stadiums left, and I Iono them this time. I go Luminian for Iono, and then this puts me in a position to potentially win if they whiff, and I miss Tool as well, so I end up swinging with Frenzied Gouging, and I leave myself with 30 HP, and I'm like counting on my opponent's resources. I'm like, uh-oh, they have like 2 Gates, 3 Chorus. All their energies are pretty much like gone, so they have to find Rod here or Clara, and I'm like, well, if they find Clara, I just lose because they can just retreat into Cram and win the game, but if they go Rod, if they have Rod Gate, they can just attack me with Comfy, which is something I guess my opponent didn't see, and he ends up like Lost Zoning his 3rd escape rope, uses Rope, I throw up Mew EX in this situation. Something else happens, and then they end up whiffing by pretty much 1 card to take the KO, and I just win. So they like retreated like a Roaring Moon and pass, and I have Boss in hand. So I kind of lucked out there. The third game is where I started playing really, really sloppy and bad. I go up against my good buddy Alex Rubin playing Gardevoir. He has a pretty optimal turn one setup. I end up so we set up originally, and I win the flip. I choose to go first. I have a really good hand, and then we get repaired, and then so we pack it up, go to the board, check it out, come back. It's the same thing. I lose the flip now. I'm forced to go second. I get the turn one attack with Morpeko and move 2 energies to Roaring Moon. But what I fuck up on the turn, what I mess up on the first turn is that I have 2 Roaring Moon in hand. I VIP pass. I'm thinking I get Moon. I get Morpeko. I can bench the other Moon from hand, Ultra Ball 2 cards, put hands into my hand, Vessel the hands away, get 2 energy, put those into the discard through various means. I had like one other piece to put stuff in, and then I can Sada 2 energies, and I like messed up the sequencing of that somehow, and I ended up with only 1 Moon on my board, and I was like, what did I do that I like messed up so badly here? And that ended up actually probably costing me the game, because the next turn I end up I go Thornton hands, and I Pokestep away 2 Sada, and I'm like, oh my god. And so I Pokestep away 1 Sada, so I pop head back 2 Sada that's in my discard, and the next turn I do it again, and I Pokestep 2 Sada, and I was like, dude, like this is unreal. So the whole game I Pokestepped away 3 Sada total to pretty much doom myself, which ended up like leaving me with only dark patches left to like play the game at the very end. And unfortunately Alex knew that as well, so he was able to win barely. Like I have to like on the very penultimate turn, what I did was attack with Morpeko. I Iono us both. My deck was like, again, like 6 cards, and it was like Luminian, Boss, Ultra Ball, Boss, because I pop out or something. I don't know. I had the both bosses, and so I was like, I win the game if I just get back to my turn, and it did not get back to my turn. Alex found the pieces to win the game. So now I'm 1-2. I knew I like kind of punted, like that didn't punt the game, but I just like played really, really bad in terms of like just not playing sloppy kind of thing. And the next game I go up against Nathan playing like Palkia, Chen Pao stuff. And they end up like getting off to a blistering start. They go first. They get the turn 2/5 energy KO on my lone Roaring Moon, which I missed the turn 1 attack. My hand is now like a bunch of energies. I drew into like all 5 stadiums off the rip, and I was like, dude, this sucks. Like, what do I do? Like, every more cards I drew, the more stadiums I saw. And then I like drew into another Roaring Moon. I was like, cool, could have been here a turn earlier. I get that powered up. I one-shot the Chen Pao. They respond in kind by going Palkia, attacking to me. It ends up getting to a weird board state where like they boss my only Moon left, and I have the pieces to pull off the Thornton like double like Dark Patch attach, like Dark Patch attach play, because I have like Sealstone, Dark Patch energy in hand, and I'm like, oh, I have fish too. Like I slam the fish, and then I realize there's a Spiritomb in play, and I'm like, oh, I'm 1 card short now, and I had like a 12 card deck, so I go Greninja first, which also I missed sequence here because I should have just Sealstoned. No, maybe I just don't Sealstone because like I guess hitting either Thorn or Dark Patch wins me the game here. And so there's like 12 cards, and I go ahead and Greninja and I whiff, and I was like, cool. And I just basically take us a sudden death. Like I can just take a sudden death. We set up for sudden death. He makes me go first. I open Luminian, have a pretty mediocre start. Gets 1 energy on the back, pass. He goes with a Suicune Donk, whiffs it. I'm like, cool. I go for turn. I sod to the bench. I draw my 3. I basically can thin it down to like a 0 card hand, get to draw off of the Mew, get to use Greninja, get to use Pokestop, and I whiff the game. All I need to find here is a Dark Patch because I have an attachment on the Squawk, so I just need to retreat the Squawk, or sorry, the Squawk, Luminian in the active, and I win the game with just that. And I'm just sitting there like, man, what are the odds? And I pick up my deck, and there's 11 cards in deck, and there's 4 Dark Patch left. So I had ample opportunity to hit 1 Dark Patch and win the game. But that is a lesson in like how I poorly sequenced today, played really poorly, and I got punished accordingly. And my unfamiliarity with the deck also like led me to situations where I was like, I think not palpating stuff back preemptively, maybe not using Earthen Vessel for the correct pieces, maybe not like aggressively using Forest Sealstone when I needed to, like maybe I held it too long. A lot of what ifs kind of thing, but it's just like a lesson to be learned for me playing a deck like this, like on the fly, especially at a cup where like, I don't know, dude, I couldn't give 2 hoots, but like that's still a bad attitude to have if you're going to go play. Like if you're going to go play, like at least put your heart into it, and I just really didn't put my heart into it today. So that being said, take the deck for a spin. It seems like a lot of fun. Please like and subscribe. It would help out the channel a ton. And hope you guys are having happy holidays. I'll be gone for the holiday season myself in upcoming here soon, and I'll be gone for like 2.5 weeks. with family. So I will try to have a bunch of uploads pre-ready for you guys. Stay tuned for that, and let me know, like, in the comments, what topics, what ideas you'd like to hear me talk about, because I would like to make it as interesting and as possible for you guys and informative. So thank you so much. Peace out.